oh my God, you gotta buy Bitcoin right now. It's gonna go to the moon. It's gonna be 1 million. Probably next month, so get it now so you can join me in Dubai. Oh my God, buy it now! Alright guys, in all seriousness, don't listen to what I just said. I didn't plan on recording a video today, but just seeing what happened last night, I mean, it's just so synonymous for the crypto industry. And yeah, I thought I'll just make a quick one to update on some of you who may have missed that story, as well as talk in general my thoughts about the Bitcoin ETF, the implications it could have. Right, so a quick recap for those of you who might have missed the story. So basically what happened was that last night that the SEC on their Twitter or X account basically made a tweet saying that the first US-based Bitcoin ETF has been approved. And obviously that is huge news. That's what the whole crypto industry has been waiting for a long time now. And as soon as that tweet came out, the Bitcoin price immediately peaked just with that news alone. But it actually turned out that the account got hacked. So unfortunately, that is not real news. It was just fake news. Somebody hacked into the account with the purpose of shooting the price up. So obviously a malicious attack, but just it shows the hype that is behind and how much people want this approval to go through, because they're really hoping that afterwards the price will go up through the roof and, you know, I don't know, 5x, 10x from here. It's just something ridiculous. Now obviously the SEC by now got the account back and made a public statement saying that the ETF has not been approved yet. And guess what? Immediately the price came down to, you know, sort of previous level as it has been before. And for me, these things are actually so sad to see, because I genuinely believe in Bitcoin. I think it has a lot of value to offer. However, all these scams around and dramas and hacks and what have you, make a lot of people that would otherwise potentially invest into Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, but let's say Bitcoin, that's my biggest holding actually. But that way they shied away, because most of the things you see are scams, are things that are going wrong, etc. And that's just such a shame. And honestly, I'm really not so excited for the Bitcoin ETF to be approved anytime soon, because I know what will happen is absolute greed. People going in, the thing goes up, and it's just not organically. I mean, of course, I'm happy to see the price for Bitcoin going up, because full disclosure, I own a little bit more than a full Bitcoin. So of course, I'm interested to see that going up, but I'm a long-term holder. I don't want to sell at 100,000 or 150,000. I really believe in the long-term project. And I'm talking about 10, 15 years from now, right? It might be a significantly higher value because it had a lot of the benefits that I really love about it. It has a limited supply, etc. So, we'll talk about this in other videos. But in general, I'm really a firm believer in the long-term sustainability of the project. Same as others believe in gold. For me, it's really something to hold on to for a long period of time. Now, a quick recap for those of you who may not be familiar with the ETF. So obviously, some of you might know what is an ETF when it comes to stocks. So it's a collection of stocks that you buy through the ETF, right? You can buy ETF on the S&P 500, for example, and then you own, the 500 biggest companies in the US without having to invest individually. You invest into the ETF, and that will then accordingly buy those 500 biggest companies. Now, similarly, the Bitcoin ETF will try to emulate the same. It will basically allow normal retail investors to invest into Bitcoin without having to own Bitcoin itself, because that's quite difficult, right? Now, you and I might be familiar and comfortable buying, cryptocurrency on the exchange, downloading it to our hardware wallet, etc. But it's not very convenient and comfortable for a lot of people, right? So a lot of people shy away from that. What a Bitcoin ETF would allow many people, including institutional investors, to basically very quickly and easily participate in the gains of the crypto market and the Bitcoin market especially. So it would open up the access to so many more people, which in turn, people assume, would bring more liquidity and more money into the market, which in return obviously would boost the price per Bitcoin. So the logic is clear, I totally understand it. However, one thing we need to clarify here is, when you invest into Bitcoin ETF, actually you don't really own the Bitcoin. What is happening is that the fund is actually on your behalf investing into Bitcoin ETF future contracts. So you don't really own the underlying asset. So these things have already been in place in many other exchanges or brokers online. You could have always bought Bitcoin by not directly owning it. So it's really nothing new. What is new is that it would be the first time that the SEC would approve such Bitcoin ETF in the US. That has never happened before, because we do have some ETFs in other parts of the world, but never a US SEC approved one. And the SEC obviously controls all the stock markets and so on, so a very powerful institution. If they give their blessing, that would really be the green card for Bitcoin, obviously, and would definitely, I can understand that, drive the price up, because it would give it legitimacy. That's in my eyes the most important, that you get legitimacy from one of the most powerful, financial institutions in the world. That's really what differentiates it and would be amazing in the long term for the appreciation of the price. And a lot of companies have been applying, but now I think the ones who are really closest towards getting it is BlackRock. Now they have been always critical of Bitcoin in the past, but now actually they're the ones who are really pushing it forward and might be closest to getting approval from the SEC for that. I mean, BlackRock, obviously, we all know the company. I invest in it myself for the dividend growth. It's a really, really powerful company. They invest in so many things. They are the biggest money manager in the world. So definitely what they do, usually it turns out to be quite okay. So I'd be surprised if they wouldn't get it through. Now it's of course a question of time, right? When they get the approval, that might be a week, might be a month, might be 6 months, I don't know, nobody knows. But I'm sure eventually it will happen, because there is such an appetite for people to invest in it. And I think it's good, because it really, as I said, opens up the access, especially for financial institutions, pension funds, for example. Imagine, they want to diversify, right? There's only so many stocks you can buy in the world. Everybody invests into the same stocks, Apple, Microsoft, what have you. They want to diversify. They buy real estate as well, but they also want to go to the future and invest into cryptocurrency. And of that, obviously the most prevalent is clearly Bitcoin. So I think overall it's a good thing. I just think how the whole industry and the communication around the instrument is communicated and seen and portrayed online, because news always love to jump on it and make it look extra scammy, right? So that people stay away from it. That's a little bit of a shame, and it gives it a bit of a shady picture to it, which I think it doesn't deserve. Now I understand crypto is volatile. Let's be honest, right? It is a risky asset to invest, at least at this stage. Long term, I think it will stabilize. We won't see such massive swings anymore. But for now, it is definitely a very risky asset class. That's normal. And risk can go both ways, right? You have a downside risk, but of course also a big upside growth potential. So that's something we need to keep in mind. I mean, guys, look at this. Whether you invest in Bitcoin or not, I mean, these views are absolutely stunning. I just love the city. It is absolutely stunning. You see the Ferris wheel over there. You have some photo shooting models over here. You have another beautiful hotel. Look at all these properties over there. I mean, absolutely incredible. Just mind-boggling. Yet another island. Funnily enough, this island didn't exist a while ago. So basically those guys buying the property over there were promised infinite sea view. And then guess what? A few years later, after those apartments have been sold, they bought these apartments and promised them the same. So I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years from now, there will be another island in front of it that has yet another sea view and blocks this sea view. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind when you come to buy. But other than that, it's just absolutely amazing. Really, really loving it. Anyhow, so back to the topic. I think overall, as I said, it is a good thing, and long term it will definitely propel the price of Bitcoin forward, especially I think in 2024, which is probably the time when it's going to be, at some stage in 2024, going to be approved. Plus the fact that we have the halving of the Bitcoin, meaning that the mining rewards for miners will be halved, and therefore obviously less Bitcoins can be created, therefore less supply will be out there, once again pushing the price up. Usually that happens every so many years, and whenever it happened in the past, we have seen a pickup in price. So I'm not here to make price estimations. There's so many other gurus or fake gurus, whatever you want to call them, out there that say every other video it goes to the moon, it goes to that. I'm in it for the long ride. I believe in the fundamental value it provides, and I think long term it's going to be a good investment. But what will happen this year, I have no idea, and to be honest, most people don't. So yeah, if there's one lesson out of all of this, do your homework, do your own due diligence. Don't chase headlines, because headlines make it to go one way or the other. Some people say Bitcoin is absolute garbage, and we've seen so many people of this, and others are believers who are absolutely blindly following it, which is also not good. Things change, right? So we have to always have a critical eye and view onto things. And honestly, at some stage, if the SEC bans Bitcoin, or there's much more negative development around it, at some stage I might actually consider just selling my holdings, right? If I really see this going the wrong way. But right now, I'm still on the holdings phase. I believe in the long term of it. But what will happen in a year, 2, 3, 4 years from now? Nobody knows. All right, guys, so there you go. Just a quick update video. Hope you enjoyed this kind of videos. Quick updates. Maybe I'll do more of this in the future, to have more than 2, 3 videos a week, just when I feel like it. So hopefully it was useful. Let me know any questions that you have in the comments down below. I get back to every single one of you. As always, thanks a lot for watching. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao. Alright guys, that's it. You know the drill. Like and
subscribe.
That's it. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.